Good. So just start out with your name and your age and your occupation.
Yeah, my name is Diana and Raj John Baptist. I'm 20 years old and I work at a company called 3. I've been here for about 5 or 6 months and I'm a salesperson. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is your experience with selling Deezer to your customers?
Well, selling Deezer to customers, it's a bit of a challenge because most of the Danish people, they're used to using Spotify, for example, Telmo Play, and yeah, there's one more service, and Deezer is new to them. There's not a lot of people that knows about Deezer, so that's our job to tell them about Deezer. And honestly, Deezer compared to Spotify, not a lot of difference. Well, the application, Spotify is a little bit more streamlined, whereas Deezer is a little bit more complicated to use, but once you get to know how to use it, it's totally fine. Deezer has a lot of local tracks from local communities all around the world. There are agents traveling around, getting a lot of local stuff, right? Whereas Spotify is mostly mainstream music. So.
Okay. So how do you find the reaction from customers when you tell them about this product?
When I tell them about Deezer, it depends on where they've been a customer before. If it's Telia customers that you're trying to transfer over to 3, it's a little bit more difficult. I usually say we have this application called Deezer, just like Spotify. It's 20 kroner a month for 6 months, and then after that there's a higher fee for it, and it's hard to sell. It's really hard to sell. It is. Especially,
so you feel like if they have preferences for Spotify, it's hard to convince them to change to different apps.
Extremely. And Telia, they have Spotify included in the package, and here customers are going to have to pay for it to actually get it. That's a huge disadvantage, but yeah.
Yeah. So do you think it would be easier for you to sell this extra streaming service if you were selling Spotify instead of selling Deezer?
Yeah. It would be a lot easier. It would be like, people know about Spotify, if you guys probably know it, walked around the mall, asked people about Deezer. A lot of people, they don't know what Deezer is, I didn't know what Deezer was before I came to 3, and I started using Deezer, and I'm using Deezer now. It's okay, but if I had to choose, I would choose Spotify, right? Yeah. But I'm getting Deezer for free, so.
So try to compare the products, Spotify versus Deezer.
Well, Spotify has, I think it's 25 million tracks. So does Deezer, but a little bit more. Again, local tracks from local communities around the world. Lots of underground artists that many people haven't heard about before. The Spotify mobile application is a lot more streamlined compared to Deezer. I think it's a lot easier to find music using Spotify because they have these different sections. You can go explore, find these different new music instead of listening to the same tunes all over all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then of course the price. Spotify is like $15 a month, and whereas Deezer, if you just get it without a 3 subscription, I think it's $7 or $8, something like that. So there's definitely a price difference also.
Have you had any issues using the Deezer app?
Yeah. There are some tunes that I listen to, some songs on Spotify that I couldn't find on Deezer. Deezer has Taylor Swift. Spotify doesn't have Taylor Swift. So.
Okay. Okay. So, do you feel like, because Deezer says like they market themselves as a huge portfolio of music, that they have 35 million music numbers, and Spotify has less than that. So, did you feel like there is a miscommunication when you then try to transfer your Spotify playlist and some of the numbers are not available?
Well, yeah, of course. But the thing is, every company can go out and say we have 100 million records, right? But if you don't have the records that people they listen to, well, then it's not a good product, right? So.
Yeah, because the thing we think is an issue is that they have 35 millions available overall, but in your specific country they might only have 15 million because of the rights.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a problem with their communication. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. What do you think Deezer could do to improve their market situation in Scandinavia?
Well, start collaborating with more cell phone companies, because that's the easiest way you can get your music service out there. Get a better deal with 3. Include the subscription with include the Deezer subscription with the mobile subscription, so the customers don't see Deezer as an extra charge, to listen to music. Of course, streamline the application a little bit more, because it's so complicated. It's compared to Spotify.
So they need to improve the product.
They need to improve the product a lot.
Yeah.
They do.
Okay. Do you have any suggestions to how could the app get any better?
How the app could get any better? Good question, Copy Spotify. Nah, that doesn't work.
Is it like the navigation, or is it the overall design? The functions? Is it everything?
It's the design compared to the navigation. In Spotify, you type a song and the first song that shows up is the song that you want, right? When in Deezer you have to scroll down this huge list of songs to find the actual song that you want, because they have so many local tracks which has the same name as the song that you want to listen to, where Spotify is just the popular songs, and it's just the popular songs that you want to listen to, right? Well, people like me want to listen to. Of course, they could probably do well in Africa with local African artists, but here in Scandinavia, Western Europe, United States, it's a whole different kind of world, a whole different world, and have to look at mainstream music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Keep up with the questions, man. This is cool. I love being in front of a camera.
You're good at it.
No.
Could we ask you? It's difficult to remember what we asked you compared to the other guy.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Just take your time, because I don't want to be out there. So. Have you guys used Deezer before? No.
No?
No? Oh,
just for the project. I didn't know it before.
Yeah. Okay. Have you tried downloading it? No? Oh, you have?
Yeah, one of us have. We have all tried navigating on it.
What do you think?
It's shit.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It is shit.
Yeah.
But then again, why is it shit? It's.
Yeah, it's difficult to say. But it's also because I have Spotify and I have really strong preferences for the product.
I use Spotify as well.
Yeah.
So how many percentage of the customers using Spotify?
Well, this week.
Not Spotify, Deezer.
Oh, Deezer, yeah. This week, I had more than 100 customers, and I sold Deezer to one of them.
One?
Yeah, that says a lot about it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But then again, as a salesperson, you have to be more passionate about selling Deezer, and if you have a negative attitude towards a company, you're not gonna sell the product well. So.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to have a positive mindset in order to be able to sell a product. Deezer, I wouldn't sell that to my mom, and if I wouldn't sell that to my mom, I wouldn't sell it to a customer, because I know the customer's gonna have a bad experience, and that's gonna come back to me. And 3, and I love 3. So.
So do you think it would be easier to sell Spotify if you had a collaboration with Spotify instead? Would it be easier for you to sell?
Way easier. People know Spotify, most of the questions that people from Telia, they ask me when they switch over to 3, so what about Spotify? Is that included in the package? I'm like, no. You actually gotta pay extra to get something called Deezer, which is half as good as Spotify. Of course, I'm not saying half as good. I'm saying it's good. We have 25 million tracks, blah 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 blah. But it's not Spotify, and you have to pay extra for it. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you had to put a percentage? What's like the brand awareness of Deezer when you try to sell it? How many % of the customers know the brand?
Know about Deezer?
Yeah.
If I have to be extremely honest, less than 20%. Actually, way less than that. People don't know it, but we have a huge poster right behind us. It's a advertisement for Deezer, and always pointed at advertisements. Hey, this is Deezer. You know, take your music everywhere. Blah 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 blah. But it's not Spotify.
So when you point at the poster, do they recognize the logo?
No, and everyone is gonna recognize the Spotify logo. This is well. It's the same as Apple, you know. When you see an Apple product, you know it's an Apple product. It's the same with Spotify. When you see Spotify, you know it's Spotify, and you know what it's capable of. You know it's good quality. And customers know what they're getting. They don't know what they're getting with Deezer. The marketing part of Deezer have failed, really, especially here in Scandinavia. Well, aren't they only in Scandinavia, or are they in other countries as well?
They're
Most
actually
popular
a
in
French
France.
company, and
Is it a French company?
yeah. It's the only market where they are
Spotify
successful.
is Sweden.
But are they successful in France?
France, yeah. That they're number one on the
Really?
App Store for music download.
Seriously,
Yeah.
they're above Spotify.
Yeah.
But have you looked at the subscriptions, the Deezer subscriptions compared to the Spotify subscriptions?
Like prices?
No, among the customers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah? Have you?
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hvad så med her? Nå, det går godt. Jeg elsker at være foran kameraet. Super lækker.
Another one of the issues that Deezer have is that half of their users are inactive. So
Of course. If you don't have a good product, the customers will not use your product. The better your
so
product
what
is.
could they do to activate their subscribers?
Again, maybe. Well, actually, there's a good story. When Uber came to Denmark, there was this other application called Lyft. All right, basically they did the same thing. You guys know Uber?
Yeah.
Uber, yeah. Where you can take your application, we'll take your phone, press come here, and then the driver's gonna come and pick you up. Lyft was exactly the same thing. But what Uber did, they started giving free rides on certain days. You know, invite your friends, get a free ride, right? Started lowering the prices. You know, lowering the prices increases competition, right? Uber had some huge investors to back them up. Lyft didn't, right? That meant that. Hvad så? Skal du gå og sælge? Ja.
Nogle gode pointer.
Ja, jeg ved det. Ja, det er rigtigt. Det er rigtig godt. Ja. So that's what Uber did, you know. The same thing Deezer could do the same thing. Invite your friend to Deezer. Listen to 5 hours of music and you get this award, you know. Something like that. Make it interesting for the customers to actually use the service, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can use it in your assignment, but I read an article about Deezer, and I know that the reason for most of the users being inactive is because Deezer from the start have always focused on phone companies. So there are a lot of customers who get Deezer without ever needing to listen to it or use it or anything. So that can be one of the problems. So yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to add about?
Anything else to add?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys have looked into it, but now that Apple Music is out, have you done some research about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? What have you found out? Do people like it?
Not really.
Spotify
is the top winner. Like
I'd have to say Apple Music is the same as the application is the same as Deezer's application. It's too difficult to use.
Yeah.
It's too difficult to use, right? Spotify makes it so easy to download tracks offline. So when you go abroad, you can listen to music on the plane or you know, in other countries where you might not have a data connection. It's just easy to use. Right?
yeah. Actually, free is in the tre. It's in a lot of countries, isn't it? It's not just in Denmark.
A lot of countries.
Do they have a worldwide collaboration with these, or is it more based on local markets?
It's they don't have a worldwide collaboration. It's just with Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, you can get it in Denmark and then you can use your phone in 28 countries with 3 Like Home. So you guys who are watching this, right? Come to 3 and we'll give you a nice subscription. 3 Like Home, use your phone in 28 countries, including USA.
Cool. Thank you.